Officially, good morning. We'll be joined in just a few moments by Purdue head coach Matt Painter and student-athletes Matt Harms and Carson Edwards. Following Purdue, we'll have Old Dominion head coach Jeff Jones, Ahmad Kaver, and BJ Stith. They'll join us here in the main interview room as well. As soon as the student-athletes leave the locker room, the remaining student-athletes are available in the locker room for media availability. That'll be all the student-athletes that don't join us down here. Both locker rooms are scheduled to be open for a minimum of 30 minutes here in the postgame. We have game times for Saturday. We're on TNT on Saturday night, and that's going to start with Florida State against Murray State at 6:10 p.m. Eastern Time. Villanova against Purdue will follow. So 6:10 p.m. on Saturday on TNT. Florida State against Murray State. Villanova against Purdue to follow. Tomorrow here in the main interview room and around the building in the locker rooms, we have availability beginning at 1:35 p.m. It ends at 4:35 p.m. There'll be some time for student-athletes and coaches here in the main interview room, and then the student-athletes that don't appear here tomorrow in the main interview room will be available in the locker room. Just a reminder, while joining us here in the main interview room, please take a moment to silence your cell phones. One final reminder this evening on no flash photography. Also, no recording of any video of any kind. That includes with electronic news gathering cameras, mini cameras, handheld cameras, and cell phones as well. Mobile phone video is not permitted here in the main interview room, including going live on social media or shooting video to go post later. No video in this room. Thank you. Once again, we'll have Purdue here first, followed by Old Dominion. It's our hard out time tonight. There is none. 6:10. It's Florida State against Murray State. Okay, yeah, well, we'll use a tiny sliver fraction of that. Sounds like Purdue has arrived, which means that the Purdue locker room is open at this time. Yes, sir. Once again, those game times on Saturday, 6:10 p.m. on TNT. Florida State against Murray State will open things up. And these guys will take on Villanova to follow. We're joined now by Purdue head coach Matt Painter and student-athletes Matt Harms and Carson Edwards. Coach Painter will open things up with a statement. Then we'll take questions first for the student-athletes.
I thought our guys were ready to play tonight. More than anything, I thought they were ready to defend. I thought our guys did an excellent job in the first half. You knew sooner or later that Old Dominion was going to get going and get on a run. Just too many good offensive players. But I thought our guys hung in there and got key stops late in the game. It's difficult. You know, Old Dominion's a very good defensive team. They never really let us get in a rhythm, even though we got up by 20 at one time. It was still very hard. And just proud of our guys for hanging in there and making their free throws down the stretch and getting key stops.
We'll look for questions for the student-athletes first, for Matt or for Carson. If you have a question for the Purdue student-athletes, please raise your hand. We'll send the microphone attendant in your direction. Any questions for Matt and for Carson? Think we have to get one in? Let's make sure we do. Here's Ken.
Ken Davis from AP and Harvard. Carson, maybe you can address this. Coach just said, you expect them to make a run, and they did, and got it into single digits again, I guess. What did you guys talk amongst yourselves about how to kind of fend that off once it did happen?
Yeah, we understand that the game is full of runs, but just kind of when they get in that point, we just focus on getting stops. Most important thing is stops, and the offense will come. So when they got in that run and kind of got into single digits, we just focused on getting stops and telling each other, let's try to get 3 stops in a row, kind of pull it back out.
Continuing with questions for the student athletes, Matt and Carson, left of the aisle.
Greg Mengelt, CNHI Sports Indiana. Carson, first of all, how's your back feel? And second, you were in a bit of a shooting slump. How did it feel in the first half to see some of those go in?
My back's fine. I'm okay. And I'm just glad our team won. And, we talk about having a slump and things like that, but mainly I'm just focusing on helping my team win. So if I'm able to hit some shots and help my team get a lead and things like that, that's good. But I'm continuing to focus on just doing the right thing and helping my team win.
Continuing with questions for Matt and Carson, if there are any. All right, we'd like to thank Matt. We'd like to thank Carson for coming down to the main interview room. Great job, Matt, especially. They're going to head back to the locker room and join the rest of their teammates right now that should be open for the next several minutes. Questions for Coach Painter at this time? Please raise your hand if you have a question for Coach. Back right. Matt, go ahead.
Matt Norlander, CBS Sports. Matt, I just got a quick question for you. This was a late tip. I don't know how often in your coaching career you've had the late tip on a Thursday or Friday. Yeah. What goes into the prep for you and how you kind of keep your guys loose? Because you're waiting the whole day to start this tournament game.
Yeah, it's difficult. I think it's different for each player. I don't think as a whole, as a team, I think there's some guys on your team that it doesn't bother at all. Then there's a few guys that it's just, they're so antsy. So, you get them, going. You wake up and, you have breakfast at 8:30 and, we went and had a shoot around at, 11 to 12:30 in there. And then we went and had lunch and, they take a 4-hour nap. And then you have pregame. There's just not a whole lot you can do. You just want them to get off their feet. But yeah, I don't know why the first game can't start, 45 minutes to an hour before, and this is a 9:20 tip, or a 9:10. I just don't understand. Like maybe there's an explanation to that, but I'm kind of bewildered why they do that. It really to me doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Why you're talking about student athletes, you can still get the games in. It's not impossible. You just got to start it a little bit earlier.
Continuing with questions for Coach Painter, center of the room.
Bailey Chambers from the Purdue Exponent. Matt, obviously a big blow losing No Gel for the first half, but what were your thoughts on his limited performance in the second half?
Yeah, well, I think, when you come out and you have a starting 5 and you've started him the whole season, especially a guy that started every game, and you literally come back out and he slips and hurts himself, and now he can't go. It's you can't make an adjustment at that time. It's just the next man up. I thought Eric Hunter was great. Even though he didn't score a lot of points, he didn't turn the ball over. He had the best plus-minus on our team. He did a really good job for us, and so I think that was huge. Some other guys got some extended minutes, and getting No Gel in there really wasn't as much for this game as it was for the next game. I just thought, he said he could go, but he needed to get in there and play a little bit, and hopefully get a little bit of confidence and feel better, and hopefully be able to go, full go against Villanova.
Coach, we'll take a question from the back of the room to the right. Ralph?
Hey, Ralph Russo with the Associated Press. Matt, there's been a lot of talk about Carson being in a slump. Do you think he's in a slump?
Well, I think anytime you've played a lot and you've been in a lot of games, it's the other things that you have to be able to do to help your team win. I think he kind of touched on that. He hasn't shot a high percentage this year. He hasn't shot, his percentages haven't been as good as it was in the past year, but yet we've won the Big Ten and we've got a 3 seed. And so ultimately that's what your goal is. I think he's done a much better job on the defensive end. But each team's a little bit different in terms of how they throw people at him. How they handle the ball screens, how they handle him in general. And I thought he's done a good job. It's hard. It's hard when you're a perimeter guy, and sometimes you get into a little bit of those ruts. But, he's one of those guys that you just feel like he can get out of it. But for us, he's had struggles, and we've still won. And he obviously touched on that. That's what the most important thing is. He's still helping us win games.
If you have a question for Coach Painter, please raise your hand. Let's go back to the center of the room. Ken.
Matt, I just wondered what your procedures and process are for preparing for the second game on the weekend when you don't have 4 days to put into it, and also your thoughts on it's a totally different team with Villanova, but playing the defending champs.
Yeah, well, we obviously were in the same bracket as they were last year, and we played them last year. I don't really I haven't watched them play besides just during the year randomly. I always just keep the focus on, the opponent in front of you. And so now we'll go back and wake up early tomorrow and start getting ready for them. But, they're very efficient. They play very hard. They don't beat themselves. Obviously, the success they've had speaks for itself. So I think more than anything, your preparation in that second day is more about you. Don't turn the basketball over, make it hard on your opponent. But that's easier said than done. As you start to advance and get to that second round and try to get to the Sweet 16, it's pretty difficult, especially when you're competing against the national champ.
On the left side of the aisle, toward the back.
Yeah, Coach, what was the exact injury for Nogel, and you expecting him to be 100% on Saturday?
They said he sprained his ankle, so I have no idea. You'd have to ask those guys.
Continuing with questions for Coach Painter, we have time for one more if there is one. Okay, Coach, with no more questions, we want to thank you for joining us here in the main interview room. Congratulations. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Coach. The Old Dominion locker room is open at this time. Just a reminder to all members of the media shuttle is scheduled to run until 2 a.m. this morning. It's 12:34 right now. The shuttle will run until 2 a.m. Once again, tomorrow's activities begin at 1:35 p.m. with the student athletes from Florida State joining us here in the main interview room, followed by Florida State head coach Leonard Hamilton. The locker room will be open during that time for Florida State, 1:35 to 2:15. From 2:20 to 2:40, we'll have student athletes from Murray State. We'll have the head coach from 2:40 to 3 p.m. Fellas. Coach. Media activities will continue until 4:35 p.m., starting at 1:35 tomorrow. We're now joined by Old Dominion head coach Jeff Jones and student athletes Ahmad Kaver and BJ Stith. We'll ask Coach to open things up with a statement, then we'll take questions first for the student athletes.
It's been a good ride for us this year. Obviously extremely disappointing that the season has ended, but I couldn't be more proud of these two guys and the rest of their teammates back in the locker room. They've been terrific all year long. I really couldn't have asked any more. I think today's game, obviously we were beaten by a very good Purdue team, but it seemed to be shaping up almost as a microcosm of our season. We got down, things didn't look good, and our guys just kept hanging in there, kept hanging around. The difference is this time we didn't have enough bullets in the gun. I would have liked to have seen how things would have transpired if either one of those wide open shots, 3-pointers in the corner had gone down. That would have made things really interesting, but that wasn't to be. Hats off to Purdue. They're a terrific basketball team. Certainly wish them the best going forward, but I'm just really proud of these guys and their teammates.
We'll open things up to questions for the student athletes, Ahmad and BJ. If you have a question for the Monarch student athletes, please raise your hand. We have one in the front part of the room to the right.
Ed Miller, Virginia Pilot. Ahmad, BJ, how did losing Xavier early to foul trouble affect you guys at all offensively? Did it, or did it change anything you were trying to do?
BJ first, please, then Ahmad.
It was tough, losing an experienced player, an ex like that. He's been playing really well for us these past last week, 2 weeks, and he just got a little too excited. Picked up a couple fouls, and it hurt, but it's part of the game. I felt like we still fought as well as we could in the first half. We couldn't think about it too much, and it was just how the chips fell.
Ahmad.
It definitely was hard losing our basically third scorer. Offense was kind of stagnant after we run our offense and after the play, so we tried to go one-on-one or something like that. But, he's been playing well. He got a bright future, and I wish him the best after this year.
Continuing with questions for the student athletes from ODU. If you have a question, please raise your hand. In the center of the room, Ken, we're going to use the right-hand microphone.
For both of you, if you just kind of comment, what got you triggered when you went on that run, and did you think you could sustain it a little longer than you did, and maybe get a little closer? Coach mentioned those two shots.
BJ first, please, then Ahmad.
I don't think anything really triggered us. I just felt that collectively as a team, we said that we didn't come this far just to lay down in the NCAA tournament. We fought all year. We fought to get to this point. We faced greater odds, but we weren't going to let Purdue, we weren't going to fold on the stage. So I felt that we really started to fight, and we really started to claw our way back. But like Coach said, shots didn't fall at key moments during that stretch. It's unfortunate, but.
Ahmad.
Just like all year, we battled and tried to get back in the game majority of the year, majority of the game. So we wasn't just going to let them just celebrate at one of the biggest stages in college basketball. So we were just going to keep fighting, keep trying to play hard and still stay with our principles. And see where we could fall out. But like Coach said, we didn't have enough bullets. We couldn't hit the shots that we needed to, and they got away with the lead.
Final question for BJ and Ahmad, if there is one. Back up to the front.
Oh, I think Jeff said yesterday the key obviously was being able to run your offense and hit some shots. You didn't hit shots percentage-wise. How did you feel about the way you ran your offense? Did you get looks you wanted, or was it a struggle?
We got the looks that we wanted. We got great looks, both in the first half and the second half. They just weren't falling. But that had nothing to do with our effort. We fought. It just, the ball wasn't going in the hoop. And like I said, it's tough. But it's just shouts out to Purdue. They guarded our sets. They scouted us really well. Even though we did execute pretty well, we just couldn't hit shots.
Ahmad, final thought from you on that?
Yeah, we got a couple good shots in the first half and in the second half. They just didn't fall, and it's kind of hard to get back in the game when shots not falling, especially the wide open ones or the ones that we want. So, but we still compete on the defensive end. We still, like I said, we still competed. We still got on the boards. We still stuck together as a team. And then you just couldn't get back in when our shots wasn't falling.
We want to thank and congratulate BJ and Ahmad on a terrific season. Thanks for coming down to the main interview room. They're going to head back to the locker room. It should be open for just a few more minutes.
Appreciate it.
Old man.
Questions for Coach Jones, please raise your hand. Start up front to the right with Ken.
Ken Davis from Hartford AP. It's always tough to lose this game and have the season suddenly shut down. I just wondered for all the particular things that you went through personally and also with the team this year, how are your emotions right now? Are they different than other times when you've gone through this? And then do you plan on taking a bit of time off or just hitting the recruiting trail right away, or what's going through your mind right now?
It's tough ending the season this way. This group has been special even before getting to this point. Maybe there might have been a season in the past where you never like to lose that last game, but maybe it was time. I would have enjoyed having the opportunity to be with these guys for a little bit longer. I think it is different. One of the things, my message to them in the locker room after is that 25 years from now, when they get together, they're not going to remember this loss. They're going to remember the fact that we had this opportunity. They're going to remember the exciting wins that we had in winning the Conference USA tournament. They're going to remember the fact that we were Conference USA regular season champions and had some really remarkable comeback wins. Those are going to be the things that they're going to remember from a basketball perspective, but even more than that, the relationships. This was a group. This is a group that truly was a team. You hear it a lot. People throw out the term family. People throw out the term together. This group was together. They stuck together through difficult times when normal teams might not. So I think I'm probably more, as much as losing hurts, I'm more appreciative of what these guys have done and how they've gone about it. I think that's probably the overriding thought and emotion.
Continuing with questions for Coach Jones. If you have a question, please raise your hand. Any further questions for Coach? Up in the front to the right.
Jeff, would you think holding them to 61 and you know, Edwards got some timely shots but didn't shoot a high percentage, that would have been enough, or was it just came down to the offensive droughts you had?
Our defense at the half court was really good. And I don't just say that because of these percent. I mean, we did what we wanted to do when we were able to force them into the half court. When they got their separation, it came in the open court. We didn't have a lot of turnovers, but in a game like this, you know, it was enough. But they hit some threes in unsettled situations. They got some buckets. There was a stretch there. You know, we were hanging in there in the first half, and I was contemplating putting Xavier back in because we were struggling so much offensively. But we were only 5 or 6 points down, and so I made that decision to keep him on the bench. And then in the last couple minutes, and I don't know exactly what it was, they stretched that thing out from being 5 or 6 to, you know, being the 13 margin, I think. And those came on, I think, more because of bad offense than it was bad defense. If you're going to beat an opponent like Purdue, in order to give yourself a chance, you got to make shots when you get them. You know, the question earlier to Ahmad and BJ, I thought we got some really good looks in both halves, but we had to work really hard to get them. And I think you've got to credit Purdue for that. You know, their game plan. Again, I don't know what they were trying to do, but I looked out there. I thought Harm was phenomenal defensively. What he was doing with the ball screen situations and still getting back and protecting the rim, I thought he was the real key to their defensive effort tonight. But again, the bottom line, getting to your question, you got to make shots. You know, you don't have to make 60%, but you can't beat a team like Purdue shooting 26%. It's just not going to happen.
We do have time for one final question for Coach Jones, if there is one. Okay, Coach, we want to thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Congrats on a championship season. Double championship. You got it, Coach. Thanks. Once again, the media shuttle runs until 2 a.m. this evening, and media activities tomorrow begin at 1:35, and they go until 2:15 with Florida State, 2:20 to 3 p.m. with Murray State, 3:10 to 3:50 with Villanova, and 3:55 to 4:35 with Purdue. 1:35, Florida State will open things up right here in the main interview room, and availability in their locker rooms as well. Thanks for joining us here in the main interview room all day today. We'll see you back here tomorrow.